Okay, Tuesday morning. Bonds just opened up out here on the West Coast, 5:23 in the morning. Look at the S&P real quick here. Okay, I was looking for a further carryover into the point of control here overnight back into our 31.34, which was the old previous high level. I'm not seeing that as of right now. I'm going to assume that we will swing higher here. The dollar has been weak overnight. Metals took off, so you should be good to go there. I took some profits that I have on my currencies before the dollar opens up this morning for equities on the exchanges in about an hour and 36 minutes. Back to the same thing again here. Set an alarm down here. 2120 is the big line in the sand going back. We kind of jabbed through it 3 times. So technically, if it fails, you should blast through the other side here. I keep talking about money flow. It's not on this one, but I'll show you. For right now, I'm going to assume that we are going to clear the highs of the night and continue on into the POC area here. The market is ripe for a large short covering here. I've been looking for it, a large move up since Thursday. Like I said, there's 2 schools of thought here. One, with the heavy amount of selling in the background, a lot of stocks that I've seen are off by at least a half to 2/3. They can join in on this rally, okay? But I'm still leaning that I'm a little bit on the cautious side of the swing after Brexit, just because of the selling I saw in the background here. But I assume this morning that we will take out the highs and we'll continue on probably into the 31-34 area. If it clears that, then we're back up to 40 and into the 52s kind of thing if there was a continuation. I have to run today to Vegas. I have to do the little meeting thing. So in between, while the market is open, I have to run to Vegas, which is a few hours away. So I won't be sending out stuff all day long today. So, but we all should be good to go here. I should, lunch New York time is probably when they'll take off. It's going to be nice actually because of it's like 60 something degrees. Yay! After, 160 days of 100 degrees, it's going to be nice. The little downside is, though, I take the convertible, and no matter what weather it is, I just put a hat on, and there's nothing like that freedom there. But I assume we're going to swing and take out the highs on the overnight highs here. So getting back to the regular feats. Okay, we have the Australian dollar. The red line is resistance area. We came into this area here. The money flow still has room to run to the upside. I don't think these are going to be V-reversals in what we have this morning. But I'd be looking to find entries on the dollar index, that kind of thing. But here I'm going to have to give it a couple of days. Basically, it comes down to Thursday, Friday. We have, I believe, 9 non-farm payrolls. Let me take a look at that here. I think we have 9 non-farm payrolls on Friday. I think I'm just doing a one-day deal. If not, I'll be in a hotel room and I'll update everybody. I was going to make it a one-day trip, but I avoided Halloween last night. Take a look here. Non-farm payrolls. What do we have? Employment situation. Yeah, Friday we have non-farm payrolls. So we're back to that situation. We may be selling off the dollar into that, but I'd kind of aim towards adding some longs on the dollar. Or covering your shorts if you guys decided to short this rally. All right, I'm going to call it pretty much quits here on the Australian dollar. The other thing you can do is with these is you could be like long pound New Zealand or pound Aussie, that kind of thing. But I think the open would probably, we're going to get a bounce off the open here. I think in the dollar, we've had some pretty good moves off the low. Okay, British pound. This one came back. I'm interested in buying any weakness. Lo and behold, we have weakness. So I'd probably go after that pound, the Aussie on the long side. Canadian dollar did turn, so we should get to see a turn in oil. And I think the last time I looked, okay, now we're back up. We're up 12 cents in oil. So with the Canadian dollar, I expect it to continue on. What's that, about 75? And a continuation of oil higher. Euro ran into resistance areas. I'd be looking for areas of shorting now again. On a move back down to, I think about 104. We may have a patch of sideways too after non-farm payrolls going into the election. Watch your margins. Some, I think, toss adjusted margins for your pound. So watch on that if you're long pounds. Japanese yen didn't continue on. It does look like, though, that it has room to run. Where's my other platform here? US dollar yen. Okay. I'm going to assume that I'm looking at a 30-minute chart on the US dollar yen. I assume it's going to break that about where it crosses. So about the 104.80, 105, I think it'll probably roll back through, probably down. We'll go test somewhere in the low 104s. So I like the long side of 6J here. All right, 6M. Quite the interesting deal here. We did have a bounce. Not much follow through in my eyes. I'd stand aside, and I look for extremes, kind of like what the Aussie dollar is looking at right now. Kiwi, same thing. There may be a little bit more on the Kiwi to 72 here. It's one of these things that we've had pretty good moves. I've taken profits off of the overnight on short dollar long currencies. But I still have the positions on. Okay. So basically I'm looking for follow through. High move here in the Swiss franc. Okay. Now in here, US dollar, Swissy, and the crosses say pound Swissy. Pound Swissy. I'd be interested in adding some new longs to it. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. All right, that's good. All right, the Swiss is a little bit, I would take US dollar, the crosses, Swiss, I'd be taking those on a long side. There's a lot of volume here, so there's obviously something's up here. This is a pretty good amount of money moving in on just this bar here. So there's definitely something in the Swiss franc. Excuse me. It did come off of, this is a daily, did come off of this oversold level here. It may get back to like 103, but like I said, I'd be cautious here for intervention. That's the only thing that remember, I'm risk adverse. Okay, here's oil. Okay, this looks like a hammer here. Oil, I would take some profits down here from, excuse me, from shorts above. Yes, I talked about 43, 44 area, but we're back to the 46, 47 with this hammer. I'll if I'm a flipper, I'll buy oil today. I'd rather go after the Canadian dollar, to tell you the truth, than the oil here. But I do see probably, it's one of these things that I would say oil should see 48 before it sees 46, that kind of thing. But if it shoots off of 46, then it's going to be a little, then things aren't lining up again with the oil and the dollar per se, right? The dollar goes down, oil should go up. Now the correlation here is off than what logic dictates. So it's one of those where you have the short side in oil, breaks the median line, makes the median line, comes down to the other one. We're getting a hammer. You can go long and put your like 46, 48 or whatever, have your stop. Yeah, it's hammering up here. Excuse me. All right. ES, like I said, this should hold down here. Well, we'll say that they're going to definitely defend 2120 here, but see the money flow way down here. Okay. It's ripe for a rally to back to 2140. So that's a pretty good move. 20 points on the ES higher is what I'm looking for. Here's your gold. It's now moved into this area. Like I said before, try and stretch it to 13 if you can. Stops would be down around 1274. But just because even the money flow is not here in it either, so you can have a lot of money move into that. So like I said, there may be a bounce in the morning on the dollar and then continuation lower. That is euro dollars. This is the dollar index. So the dollar index found a couple of pivots here. These I use both daily and weekly pivots on here. This would be S1s for both daily and weekly, and the lower regression line does not mean that it won't continue lower. We did talk about, I think, 96 and stuff. So we may get move into, we stalled at 98, but we may move into the 97, 96 area. So that would be where we get a bounce up into here, because it's below pivots, right? If something closes below the pivots, close below the pivots, close below, you hold on to the short side. A lot of money moved into hogs here. Hedgers start hedging. The meats have been precipitously sold off, so there may be more on there, but with the money flow that I see right now, I basically say that watch yourself. Here's copper. Okay, we're at 120, 121, 122. I think we have up here, pretty close to a high. The money flow. Be cautious on this. I'll set an alarm under here. Like I said, on this move on the copper, if you have any losers or whatever, equities kind of thing, be pitching to get out of it. Heating oil, okay, basically back into the sideways. This is just a straight up contract, so we have rollover too. So some of that kind of like the rollover that you saw in natty gas, but heating oil is back in sideways. Oh, my nose is running because of it is cold this morning. And everybody wanted to hear that. Okay, good. Thanks, Cal. You're welcome. Hey, I'm just the talent. Excuse me. All right, so heating oil. Here's coffee again. We had a little reversal here. Like I said, be cautious on the coffee. Set a little alarm down here. Okay. Like I said, if you're long coffee, just be careful here. Coffee, like I said, coffee can crater something fierce. I've seen it in the past. So, fierce cattle. Not much bounce off a bottom. Maybe one more swing higher, and then I'd start adding shorts. And but your hedgers start hedging. Natty gas. I should do this right. Nice sell-off yesterday, right? Here we are. So we're back to the lows. So below at the lows here, I'd be interested in basically the option thing. It'd be at the money. So if we slide one more lower here, it would be like writing puts at 280, 260, 240, 220, $2, that kind of thing, or at the money puts. But here I'd be interested in spreads. I'm not going to do spreads now. Talk about that later today. NASDAQ. Okay, I wrote last night that I said overnight. See how the money flow is here compared to the ES, which was down here. So there's, to me, I guess we'll play it up to like 84.80 or excuse me, 88.40, or excuse me, 48.40 and 48.80. We're back to those levels again. Okay, so up for right now, the target would probably be into the upper 30s here for a swing on the NASDAQ. We'll see if it holds here. It should be the weakest. Gasoline, same thing. Contract rollover, I'm guessing. Sugar, okay, we talked about writing calls at 24, cover calls and buying puts. And we drop down. If you are short, the money flow is coming out, so be cautious of that. 24 is a pretty good number. That let's take a look here on a weekly. You know, like we looked at, I think, orange juice yesterday, that it was up there. Yeah, I'll have to go back for their contracts, but like I said, I think it was under 20. I talked about on the weekend's videos that I'd kind of be interested in. So if you do have some profits, tighten up your stops. I'd trail it under like 22. Well, what's this level here? 2250. Where we're at, or 2250. So it's about 120. So a stop about 1.2 cents behind it and trail it. Okay, because what I was trying to do is you can get it closer into the 22s, but now you're only 20 ticks away. So I wanted to get something away. So if they just swipe this here, you don't get caught before it continues to roll over. Next target would be just a little under 20 here on this POC. Silver, same thing. We did get the move. There's money flows here, so there's still room to run on this. If we do get some, just massive swings, I'm going to treat it like short covering here. Okay. Bear market rallies are short, sharp, and quick. Short in duration, sharp in price, and quick. It's like, boom, you wake up, hey, silver's up 50 cents, Thank you, Caddy. You're welcome, everybody. You're welcome. It's $2,500 a contract. You're welcome. Okay, here's the Russell. I'm going to assume we're going to recapture 1,200 today. Here's the money flow. So I would like to be long. If your spreaders be long, S&P, Russell, Dow, short NASDAQ. Okay. I'm assuming that we're going to swing and get through 1,200 on here. If we don't, then it's really weak. Remember, I can be a day early, but I've been looking for a hard short, since Thursday. We had the money, there's no money flow. Okay, so basically how I read it is there's no bulls left. So it should be easy walking to the upside if you press your hands. Big funds who listen to this. Get in there and buy, you bastard. All right, there's the Russell. So I'd probably go after the Russell on the long side today. Bonds, okay, interesting thing here is they would need to fall back through and make new lows if equities go higher. That's the usual correlation here. But they also look like they maybe headed higher. So also remember that today is November 1. The Federal Reserve begins to lighten the money spigot, loosen the money spigot because of the holiday shopping season. So there's an extra supply of money, which means that usually if there's a supply of money, the price of money goes down, right? Kind of like gasoline consumption. Gasoline consumption falls 75%. Hey, of course the price has to triple. But as we know it in that world, if demand falls 75%, price falls. Well, that didn't work with gasoline. So that would be the misnomer for those who didn't take economics. Lower demand, higher price, because that's how you have to make the profit. All right. And YM, okay, YM isn't there. All right, YM, I'm gotta assume that we're gonna bust through the 18,180 level here, and we're currently at. So another 90 higher. So now the Dow should be up 120 today. If it doesn't in this low money flow, I'm going to say I'm going to be at least a day early. It's not that I want to take the long side on this one here, but the opportunities there. That's why we have multiple accounts at multiple brokers. One, just in case one of them goes belly up. Two, so you don't have everything piled in one account. I would rather bust one of a dozen accounts than one account that has a dozen things in there, if you follow me there. But the money flow looks like I have to believe that we're going to run up here and at least swipe the stops up in here to 18.2, which would be another 110 higher, so that'd be 130, 140 higher. Okay. Just because the money flow is just so oversold. Nice sideways pattern. Like the Dow, ding, 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 click it. Bonds, the same thing. If we do have a move higher here, I'd be looking for areas to short. This is the first area I'd look at. This is a half back a little bit lower. The other thing too is that since it broke below here and it's basically making a pause before going lower, this may have a little more in the short covering department because its money flow is oversold. Okay, so the markets may be reacting to, oh, I just had the word velocity. No, the market, it's logical. The market is going higher because it's oversold, not because it's the, those are the opportunities I'm looking for. Here's corn, money flows in corn. I'd be looking for the short side of corn here. Like I said, with the beans and that. Here's the 5 years. A happy point is up here about 120.30. We'll say on 5 years. You can see that people have been moving into it already. Just looking at lower interest rates. This would probably be an opportunity to take the short side of higher prices going into FOMC. I do believe we have a meeting in November too. Here's oil. It's kind of hanging on there, but it's doing this, it's the same type of pattern that gasoline had. Broke this line, paused here. If it breaks it again, oil should drop down to 34 and a quarter, and we'll put an alarm here. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, oil. And then notes, same thing. Looks like we're going to get follow through on the money flow. So continuation higher. I don't know if we're going to go above this or this. I'll know today. But I would kind of want to be kind of sell this in thirds. Sell it up to here. Sell one here. One at 129 and 28. What is that? Kevin? Yeah. What is 28, 30 seconds. 28, 4 and 7, 30 seconds. 7/8. All right, 29 and 7/8. I remember the old days of fractions. A tenth. All right, so one there, and then one in the upper area is how I'd look at it. But basically, you could just set alarms on each bar higher and give yourself some time here. So these are 4-hour bars. But what I'm doing is I'm looking for a short side of any of these interest rate products. Okay. Here is soybeans. This looks like we're going to slide lower. That's what I've been looking for up in here. The lower dollar is not helping beans this morning. 2 years, talked about this is a happy area. This would be scale up selling. So one more swing. You can see the money flow is already in here. So this is a good move. This is kind of interesting though, how they're moving into the 2 year. So save some powder if we get up to 109.05. And 6A, we're back to that. So let's take a look here. I'm going to have to go backwards. I forgot to take pictures. Where's my YM? We'll do corn. Okay. Corn. And here's my YM. That's what I want to see. And bonds. Well, these are ultra bonds. Silver, sugar, NASDAQ, not too interested there. Take that picture too. Ooh, caution on that one. Other charts to mark up this morning to go along with the video. And the dollar index is over here. Okay. Lots of them will do silver too. Okay, I think that's going to be the trick here. Oh yeah, yes. No, I'm loaded this morning for charts. Yeah. Okay. Everyone have a wonderful morning, and I'll be sending out stuff before I run to Vegas, and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.